if your company's director or a very senior management member walks into your Scrum team and says, "Team, I'm very upset with your performance. Your velocity is just 20 story points, whereas I have seen one another team who is having the velocity of 40 story points. You guys should be, thinking very seriously about it. You should do something about your performance. I'm really very upset." What will you do, when someone who is very senior in management just walks in and demoralizes you by saying that your velocity is too poor? Well, if any such scenario comes in, don't get upset, number one, because this is a very big myth and a huge blunder to use velocity as a performance assessment criteria of any team. And this is again a very big blunder to compare the velocity of one team with another team and determining which team is doing better. So let me tell you why we should not use velocity as a performance assessment criteria and what is the actual purpose for which velocity should be used. So velocity is nothing but the speed at which a particular Scrum team is capable of moving from one sprint to another sprint. If your Scrum team's velocity is 20 story points, say, then it means that your team is capable of completing 20 story points in every sprint, given lot of different conditions. You may be working on a different product and you can have a different kind of technology stack, different kind of requirements, different kind of situations, different people, different skill sets. All the factors will vary for you as compared to any other Scrum team. And what you think of the complexity can also vary from a team to team. If you think that some work is 1 story point for you, that same work may be 3 story points of another team. So when they are done, they'll get 3 points done and you get only 1 point done. But it doesn't mean that you don't have, it doesn't mean that they are better than you. So velocity is not something that should be compared from one team to another team. This should be totally treated in isolation for every team. And the only purpose for which velocity should be used is to determine for yourself, that is, a Scrum team should determine for itself that how much work it can take up in the next sprint, depending upon what is its current running average velocity. And the product owner of that team can also use the velocity to just determine on a very high level that, given I have this much of work in my product backlog and this is all estimated, now how many sprints I may take to get all this work completed. Again, this will be a very high level of estimation because a lot of factors may change in the upcoming sprints. But yes, product owner can use this velocity for estimating the total size of its product backlog and coming up with a tentative end timeline. And again, this velocity should be used by the developers to determine how much work they can take up in the upcoming sprints. At any cost, velocity should not be used to assess the performance of any Scrum team, and it should not be used to compare one team to another team. So next time if anyone asks you what's the velocity, or this is too low, or this is good, this is bad, don't get upset or don't get excited. You just need to take a pause and keep in mind that what's the actual purpose and use of velocity. Thank you for watching.